1. James Gunn's Superman Reboot, Politics, Kindness, and a New Era. 2. David Corenswet's Dad Energy and Vulnerable Superman Reboot, Everything You Need to Know, DCU 2025. 3. James Gunn defends Superman as an immigrant amid MAGA backlash. 4. James Gunn's vision for Superman, bringing color and joy back. 1. James Gunn's Superman Reboot, Politics, Kindness, and a New Era. Kindness as political rebellion? That's the radical heart of Superman's comeback, and it's already rattling critics. Director James Gunn has pulled back the curtain on his upcoming Superman reboot, declaring it a political story wrapped in the cape of America's most iconic immigrant hero. But here's the twist: Gunn isn't tiptoeing around the backlash. In fact, he's telling detractors to screw off in no uncertain terms. Let's unpack why this take is sparking both hope and heated debate. Gunn recently told the Sunday Times that Superman embodies the American immigrant experience, a being who arrived from another world to shape a new home. Superman is the story of America, Gunn explained. But for me, it's fundamentally about basic human kindness, a value that feels tragically lost today. This perspective taps into the character's 1938 origins, when Cleveland creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster imagined Krypton's last son escaping planetary doom to find refuge on Earth. The film, hitting theaters July 11, reboots 2013's Man of Steel and launches a fresh DC cinematic universe. David Corenswet stars as Superman alongside Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane. When Gunn was asked whether the movie's political themes would resonate differently in urban metropolis, inspired by New York, versus Superman's rural Kansas roots, he acknowledged the divide. Yes, it plays differently. It's about human kindness. And obviously, there will be jerks out there who take offense simply because it champions kindness. But screw them. Now, here's where it gets layered. Gunn clarified that while politics anchor the story, the core conflict is moral. It's about whether you never kill under any circumstances, Superman's creed, or whether you accept nuance, as Lois believes, he revealed. This ideological clash strains their relationship, exploring how differing values can create rifts even between allies. And this is the part most people miss. Gunn balances this weightiness with pure fun, like a flying dog in a cape, proving superhero storytelling can tackle serious themes without losing wonder. But let's address the controversy head-on. Is framing kindness as a political statement genius or unnecessarily divisive? Gunn's unapologetic dismissal of critics, calling them jerks for opposing a kindness narrative, feels like throwing gasoline on culture war fires. Does this approach risk alienating half the audience? Or is it a necessary stance in polarized times? Sound off in the comments. Should superhero films champion specific values so boldly? Related context adds depth. While Gunn's Superman explores morality, musician 5 for Fighting recently reimagined the hero's anthem as a tribute to Israeli hostages, showing how the icon inspires real-world solidarity. Meanwhile, another superhero project faces scrutiny as an actor critiqued the Fantastic Four's womanizing legacy, promising a fresh take. Gunn hasn't responded to Fox News Digital's request for further comment, leaving room for speculation. What's crystal clear? This Superman aims to be more than escapism. It's a conversation starter about who we are and who we aspire to be. The DC Universe reboot hangs in the balance, and the stakes couldn't feel more human. Reported by Joshua Q. Nelson, Fox News Digital's politics and education reporter. Nelson, a Syracuse University graduate with a background in policy analysis through programs like the Heritage Foundation's Young Leaders Program, tracks cultural shifts at the intersection of media and society. Story tips? Reach him at joshua.nelson@fox.com or connect via Twitter and LinkedIn. 2. David Corenswet's Dad Energy and Vulnerable Superman Reboot, Everything You Need to Know, DCU 2025. Meet the new Superman. David Corenswet brings heart and muscle to the role. Imagine a Superman who not only saves the world but also cares deeply about his friends and family. That's the vision brought to life by David Corenswet, the actor chosen to portray the iconic hero in the upcoming Superman film. Before landing this monumental role and becoming a new father, Corenswet was already known for his protective and caring demeanor. Growing up in Philadelphia, Corenswet was the type of friend who made sure everyone was safe and sound. Whether hanging out with fellow actors or at summer camp during his teenage years, he was the one reminding everyone to buckle their seatbelts and avoid unnecessary risks. I took a lot of pride in not being the cool one in the group but being the one who really cared about everybody and wanted to make sure that we had a good time and everybody came out alive, Corenswet shares, reflecting on his younger self. As he grew older and taller, Corenswet began to notice that his personality and presence reminded people of Superman. This is the part most people miss. He embraced this comparison, seeing it as a compliment to his genuine and caring nature. Now, as the latest Man of Steel, Corenswet brings a fresh take to the character. Under the direction of James Gunn, he dons a familiar supersuit and adds a spit curl and a chiseled physique to the role. But it's his heart that truly sets him apart. There's a dueling lightness and gravitas that David brings to this role, says co-star Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane. He really understands him in a way that none of us can articulate. He is Superman. Corenswet, known for his roles in films like Twisters and Pearl and TV shows such as The Politician and Hollywood, follows in the footsteps of legendary Supermen like George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, and Henry Cavill. However, his portrayal introduces a more vulnerable and relatable side to the hero. In this new version, Superman faces significant challenges, including criticism for his involvement in global military affairs and being an alien from Krypton. He must re-evaluate his identity and priorities, and even takes a moment to find his dog, Krypto, when the world is in crisis. It's just crazy that I'm actually here getting ready to share the movie with everybody, Corenswet says, acknowledging the pressure and excitement of stepping into such a beloved role. Despite the common perception of Superman as invincible, Corenswet's take on the character is far from boring. He portrays a Superman who can be defeated and recognizes his limitations. He can save the city from this giant kaiju one day and the next day be in an argument with Lois Lane that makes him feel like the world's going to end, Corenswet explains. Those things matter to Superman just as much as they matter to anybody. Corenswet's journey to becoming Superman is a testament to his dedication and authenticity. His father, John, was a stage actor turned lawyer, and Corenswet began his acting career at age 9 with a role in Arthur Miller's All My Sons. After graduating from Juilliard in 2016, his star has steadily risen. People have a lot of expectations about what Superman is and what he looks like, says writer and director James Gunn. So there's a physical thing that accompanies being able to do the acting. But in all honesty, I found David on the first round of auditions. Wendell Pierce, who plays Clark's Daily Planet boss Perry White, believes Corenswet's kindness and innocence will resonate with audiences. The world is his oyster right now, Pierce says, adding that Corenswet understands the power he holds as Superman. But here's where it gets controversial. Corenswet admits, it's because I'm really not innocent. His father's battle with cancer and subsequent death in 2019 have given him a deep understanding of loss and the importance of being present in difficult times. Superman has a wonderful innocence about him, especially in this film. He's a little earlier in his career. He doesn't have kids yet. He has some stuff to learn about that, ***, Corenswet says. Both Superman and me, we share the thing of wanting to be someone that people come to in their darker moments, not just in their moments of celebration. We can be a force for calm and reassurance and centeredness even in the most tumultuous times in life. Balancing his new role with the responsibilities of fatherhood, Corenswet has learned to prioritize both. Filming Superman coincided with the birth of his daughter, and his wife, actress Julia Warner, supported him throughout. My wife was a champion and was like, do whatever you need to do to get the sleep that you need to go to work. But I didn't want to miss out on that part of her infanthood. It was really special for me being up in the middle of the night with her, ***, Corenswet shares. Even in the intense process of getting into shape for the role, Corenswet maintained a sense of balance. When his trainer was shocked to find out he had eaten a bowl of cereal, Corenswet stood firm. Eating a bowl of cereal makes me a better person. I'm nicer, I'm easier going. I could not eat cereal for a year, but I would just be a little less joyful and a little edgier. And that's not a sacrifice that Superman would make, ***, he laughs. So, what do you think? Is David Corenswet the right choice for the new Superman, or do you have a different vision for the Man of Steel? Share your thoughts in the comments, ***. 3. James Gunn defends Superman as an immigrant amid MAGA backlash. When a blockbuster superhero film's theme sparks a national debate, it's not just about box office numbers, it's about the values we project onto the screen. James Gunn, the visionary behind the latest Superman reboot, ignited a firestorm of controversy by framing the Man of Steel as a symbol of immigration. The director's offhand remark, that the film is the story of an immigrant that came from other places, has become a lightning rod for political discourse, dividing audiences and thrusting Hollywood into the heart of a cultural battle. But here's where it gets controversial. To some, this is a celebration of America's immigrant roots. To others, it's a veiled political agenda disguised as a comic book epic. So, what's really at stake here? Let's unpack the clash of ideals, the fiery responses from the cast, and why this debate matters beyond the theater. Gunn addressed the backlash head-on at the film's premiere, where he stood firm in his vision. "I'm not here to judge people," he told Variety, emphasizing that the movie is a universal story about kindness. Yet his words only deepened the rift. Critics, particularly from conservative circles, saw it as an overreach. "We don't go to the movie theater to be lectured to," fumed Fox News' Kellyanne Conway, while Jesse Waters quipped that Superman's cape should read MS-13 instead of S, and this is the part most people miss, Superman's immigrant narrative isn't new. For decades, comic book fans have recognized his Kryptonian heritage as a metaphor for the immigrant experience, struggling to belong while carrying the weight of his origins. The film's cast doubled down on the message. Nathan Fillion, who plays Green Lantern, shrugged off the criticism with a light-hearted jab, somebody needs a hug. Just a movie, guys." But his co-star, Sean Gunn, Maxwell Lord, took a bolder stance. "People who say no to immigrants are against the American way," he declared, framing Superman's identity as a reflection of the nation's founding principles. His words, however, invite a provocative question: should art reflect political ideals, or should it remain apolitical? Is it fair to criticize a film for aligning with a core American value like immigration, or is this a case of reading too much into a character's origin story? Gunn's original interview in the Times of London set the stage for the controversy. He described Superman as the story of America, a tale of a man seeking a better life in a new land. "Basic human kindness is a value we've lost," he lamented, linking the hero's journey to a broader societal critique. To his supporters, this is storytelling at its most resonant. To his detractors, it's a liberal manifesto wrapped in spandex. The divide, as always, hinges on perspective. So, where do you stand? Is Superman's immigrant identity a timeless metaphor for American resilience, or is it a politically charged narrative that risks alienating audiences? Should filmmakers use their platforms to champion social causes, or is that a step too far into activism? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This conversation isn't just about a movie anymore. It's about the values we choose to celebrate on screen and the lines we draw between art and ideology. 4. James Gunn's vision for Superman, bringing color and joy back. Forget everything you think you know about Superman reboots. James Gunn is rewriting the rulebook with a bold return to optimism. At Monday's star-studded premiere, the DC Studios co-chief revealed his mission to revive the color and joy of Superman's comic book roots, promising a fresh take that's lighter but far from lightweight. "This isn't just sunshine and rainbows," Gunn teased. "But at his core, Superman is hope personified, and that's what we're celebrating." But here's where it gets controversial. Gunn's vision directly contrasts Zack Snyder's brooding, rain-soaked Superman from the 2010s. While Snyder's films explored existential dread and moral ambiguity, Gunn insists Clark Kent's greatest superpower might be his emotional stability. "He's a unicorn among heroes," Gunn argued. "Raised by loving parents in Smallville, Clark's actually well-adjusted. No tragic alcoholism, no parental abandonment, just genuine kindness forged by support." Could this wholesome approach risk feeling outdated in today's cynical world? Gunn bets otherwise, The comics I loved burst with vibrancy. Why shouldn't our films? And this is the part most people miss, Gunn's lighter tone doesn't erase conflict. The film reportedly tackles heavy themes of identity and power, with David Corenswet's Superman facing a rogues gallery including Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor and Maria Gabriela de Faria's tech-wielding engineer. But the director insists even villains get nuanced treatment. Lex isn't just a madman, he's the dark mirror to Clark's idealism. Now, let's get spicy. Is the world ready for a Superman who isn't tormented? Snyder's fans might argue complexity requires darkness, while others crave heroic simplicity. Gunn's gamble hinges on a radical premise, that joy can be compelling. With a stacked cast, Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, and the July 11th release kicking off DCU's Gods and Monsters era, one question lingers: can a hero defined by light outshine the shadows of past interpretations? What's your take? Does Superman need grit to feel real, or is Gunn's optimism the reset we've needed? Sound off below.